Welcome
Welcome.
to Shade and the City. I am your girl Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, y'all, we're here to do our rundown of, the 90 day that happens the other way. This is season 6, episode 13. I was actually surprised. And I said, damn, are we on episode 13 already? But see, this is what happens, TLC, when you give us 45 minutes episodes versus an hour and a half.
Yeah, we know how many we got with the hour and a half. We know where we at with that
Right.
one.
And got couples you still ain't introduced, but we won't go there. We won't go there. All right, y'all. So we appreciate you being here. I just want to say I like it when I'm right. You'll see what I'm talking about if you watch our recap of before the 90 days. But I do want to say again, happy birthday to our good girl, our Libra, Danielle, all natural, because I actually was right. It was her birthday on the
Period.
24th, same day as our shade anniversary.
Danielle, I promise you, I was trying to get the balloons up. I was trying to make my computer do the balloons. It don't want to. I don't know what's going on.
It's never when you want it to work.
Right.
You stupid. So yeah, y'all, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button for us.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's jump right into it. I don't feel like it was too much, or maybe I just got no, I really don't feel like it was.
Some of them was a lot. Some of them was a lot.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you got those couples. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's get shady. All right, y'all. So we kick it off with Joanne and Sean. All right. Now, she obviously they done just broke the news to their family members that they've been married for 2 years and hiding and keeping a secret, which y'all know I'm not here for. And she could tell that her boys.
Funny. Remember, I was like, I don't know why they did it there because that ain't gonna have an awkward ride home.
Right.
Here we go.
Look, Nell said, "Call me now." So, yeah. So basically, she takes her boys for a walk. And they, ask them how they feel about the news that she's just shared with them. And Joey just like, well, I got questions, obviously. Jesse, poor little Jesse is confused. And they're like, well, why didn't you tell us sooner? Like, why was it this big secret? So Joanne, blames it on, oh, I just wanted to wait for the right moment. And I felt 2 years. And, and hey, guys, I wanted you to meet him first. I wanted to feel like you liked them before I told you. Before I told you that I married him, even though you hadn't met him and knew nothing about him. Y'all help me out. Make it make sense.
Joey looked like he wanted to say so much, but didn't want to come off disrespectful to his mama, so he bit his tongue. Right. But he said, like, I think even when she said that, he was just like, all right.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely think he was holding back a little bit. And so basically, he's like, well, the little boy is like, well, what's the game plan? So what, you supposed to be moving to Ireland now? And she's like, well, that's what I would like to do. I would like this to be home, but only if you guys approve. Bullshit. Okay. Because you clearly have already made decisions without their knowledge. So why would
decisions?
Right. Why would moving be any different? And so basically we do learn, Joey's like, so what about us? What about you? What about me? What about us? What we gonna do? Okay. And she's like, well, between your father and your grandparents, and I still plan to keep my home in New York. And so you'll always have a home. I just might not be in it. That's basically what she was saying. Okay. And I just felt it was terrible. I felt bad for the kids. And, she understands that it's a lot to digest and, they might be a little overwhelmed. And I said, well, really? And so then Sean, as they get in the car, like Nell said, he's realizing that, the news was a lot for everybody. And he is regretful that he didn't tell them sooner. and the kids are in the car in this awkward car ride, you know, kind of cracking jokes because she's like, oh,
jokes.
Right. And the little girl was like, well, hold on. So that means she's my stepmom now. And then I guess he was like, the little boy, or somebody said something about him being a dad. And he was like, well, you can call me daddy. And you could tell that Joanne was like, too soon, too soon. And I was like, yeah, that was a little too soon. Them kids still ain't even really accepted this news yet for real. And so basically they make it back to the house. Noelle feels away. And Joanne already knows she about to pick up the phone and call her mama and just spill all the tea. And she absolutely does. And, you know, the mother's like, well, what are your thoughts about him? And she's like, I feel like the love is genuine. She's like, it's weird. Everyone's concerned because they did all of this in secret.
And where do we go from here? What's the living arrangements? That's what everybody's really like
concerned about. And so I have to give it up to Sean. We see a conversation with him and Joanne where basically he's like, it's crazy that he's thinking about this now, but he's just like, you know, he's obviously a little bit drained from everything that's been going on. And we do see him have a conversation with, I believe the little girl's name is Bella. Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay. So we do see him have a conversation with Bella. And, you know, basically she's a little upset with him and disappointed in him. And basically like, don't ever lie to me like that again. Don't ever play in my face. And she was like, if you do, I won't ever forgive you. And I was like, you better tell it, Bella. You know, some people might feel like she was a little too grown for her britches, but I felt her, okay? Especially
I didn't think so at all.
Especially after the deception. So, but either way, Bella happy. She good. She liked Joanne. She was asking him to get married in the first place. She just didn't understand why they were being deceived.
Left out the loop.
Right. And especially if anybody should be in the loop, because if she's supposed to be moving over there and she was already around and he was talking about she was his friend, I understand where Bella was coming. So yeah. Then we see Sean basically talking to Joanne, and he's stressed out and he feels like the boys see him as responsible for taking her away. And then he admits that, you know, they were living in their little love bubble and they won't think about nobody else. And now that reality has hit, the reality is this might not work out like they thought it would. And I said, surprise, surprise. Any thoughts on that, Nels?
I think it was selfish as hell. I think they were selfish as hell, especially to have kids. I think it was, I like leaving your mom out is one thing, maybe even your friend, but your kids, like it was just weird to me.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Teresa's fave, James and Tatha.
This is a negative. And these old crocodile tears that he giving us, I'm just so over him.
Well, you don't believe him?
I believe that he realized he made a mistake and he want to go back to America. That's what I believe.
We knew it was a mistake before he left, child. Well, he's been there for a week now. Him and Tatha are headed to immigration so he can get his visa so he can live there legally. I don't even know why they're going through this process when he don't plan to stay there. But basically, you know, she said she's still upset after the kid conversation, but she doesn't want to fight anymore. So she's trying to keep it cool, calm, and collected, trying to keep it very demure. Look, demurcy. Demurcy. You know, basically, and he's focused on, you know, how they gonna make money. Okay. Because he said he ain't selling no banana chips. Okay. It's not a very fruitful industry for him. Okay.
It's not a lucrative business.
Huh?
It's not a lucrative business.
Absolutely not. He said he ain't working for the family business because he needs to be able to provide for them. And that's something they both agreed on. He's hoping they can get this jewelry business that he had going on in the US running up over here.
That's why he's out there with the metal detector on the beach.
Oh, maybe for shells and stuff. Because before he was doing crystals, right?
Yeah.
Well, then, you know, after knocking her down about the baby, he decides to let her know, you know, maybe there's a good time to let her know, hey, you know, how we found out about the rabies outbreak. you know, and Jojo coming over here, I don't think it's really a good idea for him to come at all, because I found out that if he comes over here, he won't be able to go back to the US if it don't work out over here, and he'll be stuck here. So then she's like, well, can we at least go visit him? He like, well, what money? We ain't got no money, ma'am. So that's the negative. Now, of course, this makes her emotional.
I mean, you know what? One thing I could give James for the most part, I mean, they both are liars, but he keeps it real with her. You know, they lie to everybody else, but he keeps it, well, at least.
You have to ask him a direct question, but he's not forthcoming.
No, he's not. He's not.
Which to me is not the definition of keeping it real. But so, you know, she gets emotional. He gets a little emotional too. And, you know, basically, you know, he's talking about how he feels like the dog completes their family. And she feels like, you know, they abandoned their child. And he's like, you know, I can't even take care of a dog. How am I supposed to take care of a whole human child? He said that. Okay. Tatha decides to take him downtown to go get some street food. She wants him to try her favorite treat. It's fried tapioca. Now, he's raised some concerns for her after saying basically if things don't work out. So she like basically
he's setting her up.
Setting her up for what?
To tell her he wants to move. Like, I think he's lightly broaching the subject to test the waters to see how she feels about it.
Telling him, you do that, I ain't going. You don't give me no babies, I ain't get you with you no more. They both treading lightly.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So basically, yes, it raised some concerns for her that he keeps on saying, you know, if it doesn't work out here, if it doesn't work out here. So she asked him, you know, how you feel about living here? And he said that he does love it there, but you know, there's still some things they need to get resolved. You know, for instance, Jojo, the car. And then he asked her worst case scenario, if we don't get on our feet, I don't think I can stay here permanently. And asked her, will she come back with him? So she was like, well, maybe. But let's just make sure
maybe we had a baby.
Still maybe not. But basically she's like, let's make sure that don't happen. And he feels like this sounds so familiar because this is exactly what he does to her, especially when she brings up a kid. He skates around it just like this, so he knows exactly what that means. She told him that she doesn't plan to you know, abandon him if he, you know, decides he wants to go to the US, but she does want to live there. And she's worried that in the future he doesn't want to have kids at all. So it's giving, sorry, I would abandon you if you don't put a baby up in me. She said that she's 28 now, and the max she's willing to wait is until she's 33, because, you know, her issue with her thyroid, and that can cause problems with her getting pregnant. I knew Teresa was going to have an eye roll for me with that one. So he said, you know,
look, that my notes say thyroid.
You said what? Oh, so he said, what if he told her that, you know, he can't ever see himself having children? And she said, then she doesn't really understand the purpose of marriage.
I said, oh, yeah, that was a great comeback, girl.
She, trust me, she's been sitting on this because she wanted to talk about it, but like she said, she don't want to fight.
So you know what I can say? I can applaud her for sitting on it that long.
Trust me, she's been thinking about all these.
I would have exploded.
I mean, he's not giving her that energy to explode, but I can understand what you're saying, because
my rebuttals would have been vicious. If he would have said any, if it like with the dog, when he would have said that, I would have had a rebuttal for that.
Nobody would have been able to blame her if she did explode, because this is something we discussed before we got married. So really,
I was just about to say that he bamboozled her.
What is the purpose of marriage? Because I entered this marriage with you thinking that we was going to make a family.
And you told my father that you were going
to promise my father
grandchildren. So what I have a question for you and our audience. And this is just real life, big boy, big girl stuff, right? We adults, we in relationships. Is he wrong?
Absolutely.
No, the reason that I asked, okay, we're all human. I'm playing advocate. I'm not saying he's not wrong. I do think he's wrong. But as a human being, for whatever his reasons are, if his mind has shifted or changed, is he necessarily wrong for that? Now, is he wrong for not telling her? If he's really standing and I really don't want kids, I don't think he should drag her along, because that's what I think he's doing.
If for whatever reason, because he hasn't given her a valid reason.
Right, because they both are giving, he said they do the same thing.
This was the situation before they even moved over there, and he wasn't able to take care of her. So he hasn't, I don't want to say he doesn't have one, but he hasn't given a valid reason why he doesn't want to do this. And no, I'm not going to say he's wrong for changing his mind, because maybe initially he did.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
If he did, then that's the case. But she's not wrong for changing.
He should have communicated that to her too.
He's not wrong for changing her mind either.
No, I don't think she's wrong.
Being in this marriage.
If she stood, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is I'm not wishing for nobody to break up, but real talk, if Tatha stood 10 toes down and said, I'm leaving you because kids is a deal breaker for me, I would have so much respect for her. Mm-hmm. I would have so much respect for her.
And it seems like it is a deal breaker for her, especially with family being so involved as well.
But she's trying to play it off like it's not, and I'm gonna, stay with you and I'm gonna stick by your side. And I think she'd be better off just telling him the truth. Like, no, I won't stay, regardless of what. But I think that will also keep him lying to her and making her think that, oh no, I just need some more time, or I'm not sure, and giving her false hope. And that's why I said I feel like he's dragging her.
Yeah. Well, she said that she wants a complete family. He said that, he feels like, that she's enough for him to be complete. And, she told him that he's enough. Okay. But it would be complete with a child. And, he doesn't really know where they go from here, because he can't give her what she wants, but he doesn't want to lose her, which is why I think this is why it aggravates me, because I don't think that he's changing. I don't think he's changed his mind.
I don't think he's changed his mind either. That's why I said he's dragging her. But I think he's not going to be honest with her.
I think this is how it was from the beginning. I don't think, even if he wasn't 100% like, I don't want kids, I think he wasn't 100% on board with having kids in the beginning and still married her. I think he was on the fence initially about having kids.
But you think he been lying from the beginning?
Yes.
That's valid. That's valid. It's very valid. All right, y'all.
It was short, because this next one is super short.
Super short. And I'm gonna give it to y'all because y'all know I like my good girl Lily. And you know what? Honestly, y'all could have kept this little piece with her and John. And next week, because I want to see Lily next week. Okay, Lily looked like she fired up, and I said, "Woo!" I said, "You done finally." She's mad. Okay. But anyway, so Josh, it was really cute. He planned a special surprise date for her. And so
listening, y'all, he was using his listening ears.
And so they have this dance class. They put on a traditional, Chinese wear. And Lily's happy that he's taking the steps to, basically show that he loves her after she told him that she didn't feel loved, basically. And they enjoy their dance. And then Lily says, this is a reminder of why she loves him. And he's just hopeful that they can, put all their issues to the side and basically appear like as a united front in front of her family on their wedding day. So he want to fake the funk for the day. Like I said, I think they could have kept this, and because I'm ready to get into next week already.
I'm ready to get into these next people, because this is just
talk about epic. Do your research. She seemed like a smart girl too.
She is smart. That don't mean
oh, she's book smart. Gotcha.
Corona and Ingi. So Ingi is taking Corona to meet up with a group, with a social media group of Black Icelanders. He just feels like, whatever will make her feel comfortable. Like, none of my friends and family give a damn what color she is, but if this helps her out, then so be it. I'm gonna take her. Okay. So when she gets there, she spoke to, I think it was like 3 people. And she was looking for some words of encouragement. It seemed like Jeff basically told her, the kids there, they ain't got no filter. Okay. They say all types of things. And the adults there either completely notice you or completely avoid you. And I don't remember the woman's name.
I think that's his experience as a male. Yeah.
And then the woman there, I don't remember her name, but basically
I don't either.
Both of the women there basically said that hasn't been their experience as a woman, that could be, because he's a man, and basically told her, well, she let them know that she plans to go to midwifery school. And, they told her most people come here already with a job, ready to work. They don't come here to go to school. So I need you
language
mentally prepared for some hurdles, okay? Especially without you knowing the language. And she's feeling like this could derail her, especially if it's more than a few months. She's feeling like she might have made a huge mistake. So then Corona goes to for information session at the midwifery school to figure out how to get in. Okay, so she's talking with the program manager, and basically she's told that she has to have her bachelor's in nursing and a nursing license in Iceland, and be able to speak and read in Icelandic language because all the courses are taught in Icelandic. Okay, and apparently,
do you think that
she was lying?
Because they literally, only reason I say that is because they just referenced about how she might face some challenges being in Iceland, and her thinking her Ivy League college career was going to mean something to them. And I feel like that, and maybe if that's really the rules, but I definitely feel like that lady humbled her.
So who are you thinking is lying?
I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe the lady was just like, oh, look at this ritzy thing, she doing something.
You think that they actually teaching in English is what you're saying?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question. Shay Squad, y'all join. I just think it's funny that they referenced that, literally talked about this before this next scene. And
well, no, I would just think that proved their point, that they were 100%
okay. Again, that's why it's just a question.
No, I don't think she was lying about them teaching the English. That would be huge. That would be, I mean, if she found that out.
She said she looked it up, and that's the only thing that made me questioning.
She did say she looked it up, but she translated it using a translator app. And we've seen from these shows that they're not always correct. They're not always valid. If anything, she should have had Ingi read it and translate it back to her in English. But who am I? Anyways, I mean, clearly she didn't even want him to know how important this was to her. So whatever. So yeah, basically she thought that it was taught in English. The lady told her, we never even been asked a question like, do we teach it in English? That's not even a thing for us.
People come prepared.
Because people come there to work. They don't come there to go to school. And the people that mainly live there are from Iceland. They speak the damn language. Okay. So Corona says that, she's been learning the language for the past year, but she's definitely not fluid, and asked if she could take, Icelandic as a second language along with the midwifery classes. And the lady told her, that might be a little difficult because really you need to be all in with the midwifery classes. And Corona said, you know what? I like challenges. I think I could do this. But, when would I be able to start? Then the lady tells her, actually, for international students, the due date was 2 weeks ago. February 1st, every year.
So what's crazy to me is, why did we not look all this information up before we moved our happy asses over to Iceland? For a man that hasn't gave you a promise of anything,
I guarantee you, because she went over there with the mindset that, like everybody else does, that things work over there like they work over here. If I miss the fall session, I can start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure she went over there thinking, oh, things work over there the way they work over here. And that's not the case. Literally, they only have an opening once a year. So the lady told her it could be a year and a half. And without you knowing the language, it could really be 2 years. Let me say something. That's it would be given too much for me. I'm taking my ass right back home. I'm going back home.
Well, you saw the previews. He act like well, luckily I'm patient. He ready. That's what I'm saying. He ready for her to go back home.
Oh, I thought he meant patient as in wait for the class to like start again.
Oh no, it was giving me the vibe that she's thinking about possibly.
Oh no, remember she said something like he doesn't realize. I think she said something like he didn't realize that she's considering like going back home or something like that. So I didn't think it was that. But regardless, if he's not taking it serious, it's her fault. Right. She never explained to him how serious this was. Let me tell you something.
I think he would have said, it's just me, because he gives me the vibe. He's a very low-key, chill brother. He would have said, well, you know what? You stay out there and we'll keep doing this back and forth thing. We got to do it. You figure it out.
I'm not giving what you're not about to do, ma'am. You was tripping, okay? Oh, I was accepted to this Ivy League school. What difference does that make? You didn't go.
Woo.
Now you want to come over here to Iceland and tell people how you got accepted. What is that supposed to mean to them? You should have stayed your ass over there, went, because you didn't get in the first time. Now you had a freaking opening to go, and you went over for this man that don't even plan to put a ring on in no time soon, Bookie.
Not Bookie. Well, I think Nels gave Corona a word this episode. Yeah. I don't know. Drop down in the comments. Let us know what y'all think. But if you have not already, please go ahead and make sure you hit that like button for us.
Make sure you comment.
Make sure that you subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. And yeah, y'all, we will catch you next week for another recap of this foolishness that is 90 Day that happens the other way, you know. Good night. Bye-bye.